The prophecy of the Chosen One has been the cornerstone of all major events in the main Skywalker saga. The 6 films told the story of the rise, fall, and balance of Anakin Skywalker, and the very inception of the Star Wars galaxy as we know it. For many millennia, the Jedi had believed in the prophecy of the Chosen One, and had awaited their arrival, which wouldn't come until the era of the Clone Wars, an era when Qui-Gon Jinn would have his fateful meeting with the young Skywalker slave on Tatooine. However, just as there is light, there must also be a dark in everything that we know. Yes, indeed. The Sith also had a Chosen One prophecy of their own. It was not something that was widely spoken about, not mentioned nearly as much as the Jedi Chosen One either, but it still existed. So come with us today, students of the Force, as we take to the tombs of Korriban and dust off the old crumbling manuscripts to uncover the prophecy of the Sith'ari. We have spoken about the Sith'ari on this channel before, but today we wanted to go down the rabbit hole and take a thorough examination of this concept, as well as an open debate as to who the Sith'ari may actually have been. As stated, the topic of the Sith'ari was very hush-hush among the Sith. Up until around the era of Darth Bane, it was something that many Sith Lords had cast aside, and even a topic that some had tabooed at worst. The prophecy of the Sith'ari was nothing like the prophecy of the Chosen One of the Jedi. It wasn't just mysterious, but it was also very confusing, contradictory, and misleading. The official prophecy went as follows. The Sith'ari will be free of limits. The Sith'ari will lead the Sith and then destroy them. The Sith'ari will raise the Sith from death and make them stronger than before. These 3 lines were subject of debate and even heated battles amongst the Sith Order, as it was not only hard to see, but it was also hard to decipher. This prophecy is the very embodiment of everything the Sith stand for: power, betrayal, destruction, and freedom. The origins of this prophecy can be traced all the way back to the Sith pureblood kings of Korriban, where it is first mentioned. The earliest recordings are in the manuscripts of Sorzis Sin, one of the Dark Jedi exiled to Korriban alongside with their leader, Ajunta Pal. In the manuscript, she writes that she uncovered the prophecy of the Sith pureblood priests, and that the idea of the Sith'ari came about around the time of King Adis. King Adis being one of the most powerful Sith Lords that have ever lived. Adis was a Sith pureblood who had lived almost 3 millennia before the founding of the Galactic Republic, which would place him around 27,000 BBY, and King Adis had been raised as the chosen being among his people, similar to the likes of Anakin. Unlike his red-skinned Sith kin, Adis' skin was black as charcoal, and he stood head and shoulders over even the tallest of the Sith race. He wielded 2 Force-imbued battle axes, whereas most Sith warriors could only ever use 2 hands to swing a single axe. It was said that Adis roared. All of his people either rushed to his side or fled in fear. When any Sith warrior challenged him, he would kill them and drink their blood in a soup in order to honor their deaths. King Adis seized control of all of the warring clans of the Sith, uniting them under his one rule. This began a reign that lasted nearly 300 years, which was referred to as the Reign of the Axe. King Adis had used his powers of the dark side to sustain his life, and he was worshipped as a god as well as the Sith'ari. Sith'ari was a word which translated to overlord. His life came to an end when the far more powerful and advanced Rakatan conquerors arrived. What is more impressive though is that in his final moments, King Adis still drove the Rakatans from his homeworld, claiming that Korriban would always belong to the Sith. Many of Korriban's Kasai priests believed that the reign of the Sith'ari began and ended with King Adis. However, a great many of the Sith pure-blooded people believe that the Sith'ari will one day return and lead them once again. It was the Dark Jedi that uncovered these ancient ruins and the tale of King Adis, and it was the Dark Jedi who briefly considered claiming the title of Sith'ari for themselves, in an attempt to consolidate even more power over the Sith. But they quickly changed their minds. The legend of the Sith'ari was so powerful in their culture that none of the Dark Jedi, even their leader Ajunta Pal, dared to claim the title for fear that it would backfire. Since then, the legend of the Sith'ari was passed down through the Sith Order's legacy, with many Darksiders either dismissing it or claiming it to be the legendary figure themselves. But now, we know about the legend, but what does it truly mean? What did it mean to be the Sith'ari? Let's open a debate for ourselves as to who the Sith'ari could have been. Based on what we know, it is possible to narrow it down to 3 potential options, that being Darth Vader, Darth Sidious, or Darth Bane, if of course it is not this King Adis. But let's examine each of their claims to the title of the Sith'ari. The idea that Anakin Skywalker could simultaneously be the Jedi Chosen One and the Sith'ari would be one of incredible speculation. It would truly put him in his place as the center point of the entire Star Wars mythos, and consolidate his position as the most influential Force user to ever grace time itself. It would make his journey into the role of the Chosen One that much more powerful, as it would mean that he would have been the Chosen One between two different groups, and would have to choose between becoming the Chosen One of either the light or the dark side, the Chosen One of the Jedi or the Sith'ari. However, this explanation comes with a few problems. Let's break it down by using the lines of the prophecy as a rubric. The Sith'ari will be free of limits. Vader has already failed this line. Perhaps we could say that he was once the Sith'ari before he was imprisoned within his armor. But the thing about prophecies is that they usually come true one way or another. So the fact that Vader has these limits at all already denounces his claim as the Sith'ari. Perhaps if he had never been put in this suit, it would be different, and he may have been the Sith'ari. But what about the next line? The Sith'ari will lead the Sith and then destroy them. Vader fails this line yet again. If you think about it, Anakin did destroy the Sith, sure, but he never led them. Ironically, he did the exact opposite. He led the Jedi and destroyed them. The Sith'ari will raise the Sith from death and make them stronger than before. Once again, there is an argument to be made that Darth Vader led the Sith into their ultimate power grasp, but I think that Vader fails this line as well, as he only did so at the behest of Sidious, which again brings us to our next contender. Darth Sidious is one of the more likely candidates to be the Sith'ari. By the time of the Empire, it can be argued that he was the most powerful Force user in existence. He had a higher midichlorian count than even Yoda, and he had outmatched the Jedi Master in Force ability. The ones of Mortis were all dead, and the Chosen One was bound to his armor and cut off from his full potential. So, besides Force deities such as the Bendu or Abeloth by way of elimination, that would make Palpatine free of all limits, and truly the most powerful man in the galaxy. Not just in Force power, but in power itself, as he had the Death Star and the resources of an entire galactic empire at his fingertips. Palpatine truly made the Sith stronger than ever before. But there is one problem with Sidious being the Sith'ari. The problem comes with the two of the middle lines. Sidious did lead the Sith and bring forth the fruits of their power over the entire galaxy, but he never destroyed them. Again, he destroyed the Jedi through Vader. We must be scrutinizing about each and every line of the Sith'ari prophecy, so we can truly decipher who it was. It is a difficult thing to match these Sith according to each tenet. However, there is one person who arguably meets all necessary criteria, and even had it alluded in his book that he was in fact the Sith'ari of legend. This, of course, is Darth Bane. In his time, Darth Bane was the most powerful Sith Lord in existence. His power eclipsed that of anyone in the Brotherhood of Darkness, including their leader, Lord Khan. All the Sith had even recognized Bane as the superior Sith among them. He had a hunger for knowledge and power, and after he was free of the Orbalisks, he was completely without limits. Darth Bane did indeed lead the Sith and destroy them. On the 7th Battle of Ruusan, he led the Sith into battle using a dark ritual which caused a storm to occur, as well as provided the ritual instructions for the Thought Bomb, manipulating the entire Sith Order, and by doing this, he wiped them all out, just as he planned. And finally, by Darth Bane establishing the rule of two, he raised the Sith from the dead and made them stronger than ever before. It is a proven fact that the Sith were far more powerful in the rule of two than they ever were when they were great in number. He used the Sith's innate tendency to betray one another to the Order's advantage, by the apprentice becoming more powerful and always betraying the master, and then their own apprentice doing the same, and so on and so forth down the line. Theoretically, this would mean that the Sith would become more powerful and more cunning with each generation, all coming to Darth Sidious. Just because Sidious was the one who brought about the revenge that centuries of the Sith had built up to, doesn't make him the Sith'ari. It just means that he was the catalyst for the will of the Sith'ari. The will of who we believe was Darth Bane. But what do you think? Do you agree with our assessment, or do you have a better idea of who the Sith'ari truly was? Be sure to leave a comment and debate on who you believe the Sith'ari is down below. There is of course the possibility that we haven't even met the Sith'ari as of yet though, and this could be someone much farther down the line in Star Wars lore. We never know. But anyway, my friends, and fellow students of the Force, may the Force be with you always, and have a great day.